Hello again, I am Jim Bob. Welcome back to Big Bud Farm. And Jay's gone now. It's just me. And as you can see, we've got all of our logs piled up, ready to be turned into wood chips. We're going to save those for when we need something to do. Right now, I am going to take my Big Bud back to the farm. I'm going to clean it, put it away. And then I am going to take on a contract job and do some work on field 1. I want to start bringing that price down a little bit because that is obviously the smallest of the 3 fields available to us. That is the one that we are going to be buying first opportunity. It does normally cost around $3 million. We've done a job on it already once before, so the price is down to I think 2.9. I'd like to try and get that down to maybe 2.5 million if possible. Maybe even lower than that once we've fully befriended that farmer. So we'll do a fertilizer job with the slurry spreader. That'll pay us around about 25,000 and should take me around about 45 to 50 minutes to do in total. So we'll do that and then we'll see what the plough options are that pop up, because I'm genuinely curious as to whether or not any of the Big Bud DLC equipment is going to pop up in the contract list. I haven't seen that yet. I've only had fertilizer jobs, and we've never ever had muck spreaders in fertilizer jobs. It's always been sprayers or fertilizer spreaders, never muck spreaders. And when it comes to doing the initial slurry stage, when a field's just been harvested, we always get given one of the slurry spreaders, such as the Joskin one or the really big orange tanker that we'll be using on field 1. So I haven't had a contracting job where I've had to cultivate a field or plant a field or plough a field yet. So I haven't had the opportunity to see whether or not Big Bud equipment will get thrown into the mix. I really hope it does. And so doing this job will get us to that stage straight away and also raise us a bit of extra capital. All the money we have now is literally just going into the Let's Buy Field 1 fund. So we've got our sunflowers that are growing. They've been fertilised to stage 2. Once time has advanced a bit more, they will be at stage 3. We'll be able to fertilise them and then leave them to grow. We've got wood that we can chip and then eventually sell. And obviously we have contract work, and we'll get another couple of harvests in, I think, before we'll even be close to buying field 2. Field 1. And I'd like to be able to get a second harvester as well. I want to be able to get a second one of those CR1090s. Harvesting field 1 is going to take hours on its own. Won't take as long as it did to do field 4. But it'll still take a long time because we won't have an unlimited grain tank. Like when we're doing a contract mission, we'll have to keep emptying the combine. We'll have to keep repositioning the combine after each pass as well, because otherwise I won't be able to unload it as it goes back down the field without destroying crops. So these are all things that are going to require us to have a second combine harvester. To enable us to really plough through those fields nice and quickly, chew up those crops, and we'll sort of juggle an auger between the two of them all the way up each end of the field, unload at each end of the field into a waiting truck. So that's something else we'll need as well. We need a second truck, and we'll need a second set of grain trailers as well, so we can have one parked at each end of the field. So we have plenty of equipment that we need to buy, as well as earning for the field as well. So let's head on over there and pick up the job. So here we go. Here is the job that we're going to be doing. Fertilising field 1. We're going to use the 900 Vario, and as you can see, we have lowered the cost of the field down by around about 50,000. It's nice, but it's not a huge deduction yet. So definitely need to get that price down. It's a shame that we can't actually customise the loadout of the tractor that we're going to be using. So I have no idea whether this is the... actually, can we see on the side? It's a 930, so it's not a 939, which means this is not the most powerful version that we could possibly get of this. Hopefully it won't pull us around too much. There we go. So, time to get spreading. And one thing that I think is quite interesting is that this field has been planted going across the opposite way. So rather than going up and down the field, you can see from the way that the field, the grain of the field here, it's running from side to side. It's running widthways rather than lengthways. Very interesting decision on the initial planting that way. Does make me wonder if that was deliberate or just one of those things. So I was checking through some comments on the series. So far, the feedback as to the new style of video presentation, the highly edited video segments, does seem to be overwhelmingly positive. You guys seem to really like the new style of recording. So I have one more question for you. Would you like to see that style of recording brought across into my other farms? Like American Outback and Fent Farm and Massey Manor. Is that something you would like to see on those farms as well? Or is it something you would prefer to see just on this and maybe one other farm, and keep a couple of farms with the traditional sort of rambling of 45 minutes worth of dialogue? Let me know in the comments. Feed the comment section and let me know, guys, because like I said, this channel has helped to grow by your feedback. I like to respond to your comments. I like to read them all, and you are helping to shape the way the channel goes. If there's a particular game that you would like to see covered as well, then obviously do let me know about that, and I can look and see about bringing that game into the channel in the future. Or if there's a particular map that you would like to see me farm on, then obviously give me a shout on that one as well. We can look at maybe transferring one of our existing farms onto that one. So yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments section, and your feedback will definitely be heard and listened to. So as we approach the end of the field here, what I like to do is do these sweeping turns so that I stay partially on the field, and try and put like a border around the edges first, and then once I've done a border, I'll then just go up and down and work within the area that I've put fertilizer down on. But this way, sometimes, especially when you're working on a field that you're looking to buy in the future, sometimes you can end up with patches that don't quite work. It's more of an issue with ploughing and with harvesting, where you'll see bits of crop left dotted around the edge. I'd noticed it a lot on Goldcrest Valley, where you'll be harvesting something like corn or sunflowers, and then you'll come around and do a second harvest at another time, and you'll still have a thin withered line of the previous crop on the edge of the field, and it's just, it looks a bit naff and a bit bad, And one of the ways to make sure of that is just to be extra careful when you do the outside. Make sure you completely clean the outside edges of the field and fully fertilise the outside edges of the field, and so on and so forth. Same with ploughing and cultivating. And that way, any gaps that haven't been covered before the job finishes are inside the field, and everything on the outside is cleaned and done. And that way you don't end up with withered crop, sort of hanging around on the borders of your fields. So as we approach the bottom edge of the field, swing around, make our final border pass. There we go. And from here, once we connect back up with the area that we've already done, by then we should have done about a quarter of the field already, and then we'll just be going up and down, in side-by-side rows rather than continuing to do a box around the edge. It's a nice easy job to do this, fertilising. And doing fertiliser jobs like this is the quickest way to get your affinity with a farmer up to maximum, is to just take on fertiliser jobs, because they are the ones that are the quickest to do. So you make sure you get the 3 fertiliser jobs. You kind of just ignore the ones that are going to take longer to do, and you won't earn a huge amount of money, at least in comparison to some of the other jobs, because they're quite short. But you will get your rating up nice and quickly. So you'll get a steady supply of extra cash in small manageable chunks, and you'll also start getting nice discounts on your fields as well. I do love the interior of these larger fence. I mean, the interior of the modded 800 series is really nice, but this is the 900, and it's still got a lovely interior. I mean, look at all these controls. Really nice interior in here. And of course, being one of the 900 series, we can actually change driving position and face around the other way, same as we could in a Valtra. The whole steering rig just pops forward and spins around with the chair, and that's a really nice feature. And the 800 mod has that as well. One thing I would really like to see, though, brought across onto consoles is a modded version of the Fendt 1050. That thing's an absolute beast, and we don't have a particularly powerful Fendt, really. The most powerful one we have is the 939 rated Vario, which is the maximum engine upgrade. So we get a maximum of 390 horsepower. It's not that much, really, when you think about it. I mean, Case has got combines, not combines, tractors that start in the 400s. This one can't even make 400 with its best engine upgrade. You've got the quad track that can go all the way up to just under 700 horsepower. The Magnum can easily break through the 400 horsepower barrier. New Holland have got a tractor that can go that high with a T9. That goes up to 550 odd horsepower. Challengers obviously can get into the 500s, and all 3 of them, I think, break past the 400 barrier. I mean, even the small track Challenger, the smallest of the ones, I think that starts at 384 horsepower. So that, with its default engine, is almost as powerful as a fully maxed out one of these. Yeah, there's all these different powerful tractors out there, but we don't have a truly powerful Fendt, unfortunately. Even the Massey can go up to 400 horsepower. The 8700 series, tops out at 400 horsepower. So I'd really like to see a Fendt 1050 make its way across over to consoles, just so that we can have a tractor, pushing into that 500 horsepower bracket with one of these Fendts, because they are really nice, and it would mean I would be able to take Fendt Farm off of Drummond and put it onto a map that's bigger, and not have to worry about not being able to use a tractor powerful enough. Got a little bit carried away there. I meant to turn around on the spot. Just cut back. It's a little bit messy, but there we go. Oh, I hear the church bell bonging in the background. It's 10 o'clock at night. The temperature has dropped to a nice cooler temperature. It's been an absolute oven in my room again today, and I made the mistake of closing my windows at around 5 or 6 in the morning, and then when I woke up later around midday, it was just a sauna in here. I wish I'd left them open, but I didn't want to take the risk that we might get caught with a thunderstorm. It did sound like there was one rumbling in the background this morning, and I didn't want to take the risk of rain getting in while I was sleeping, so I closed them up, and I woke up dripping with sweat, so I still got wet. Just unfortunate. It took several hours to sort of clear the heat out of the room, with windows wide open and my fan going to try and create a draft. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so hopefully that'll help break the heat a little bit. We've had 3 or 4 days of pretty hot temperatures. I mean, not hot by certain standards, by some standards depending on where you are in the world, but here in the UK at this time of year, 80 degrees is pretty hot. It's 26 for us, so 27 degrees. That's 79, 80 degrees in America, and again, in some parts of America that's nothing. In other parts that's pretty toasty. For us here in the UK, 80 is pretty warm, so we're not used to weather that hot that consistently. So when it does hit, we tend to melt a little bit. Alright, we've passed the 1/3 mark. We're closing in on half distance on this job, so I'm going to shut up for a bit, and I will catch you a little bit later on. We have hit the 2/3 mark. Still got over 50 minutes left on the timer for the job, so we've got plenty of time to go. We should get a nice little bonus on this job. So I'm hoping our total pay is going to be somewhere between 30 and 35,000. Probably looking at around another 20 minutes or so left, 15 minutes or so to finish this field off. Probably 20 minutes. So I'm going to crack on with it, and I'll catch you back in just a moment. So we're into the final section of this field now, almost done. Just got a little bit left. We're kind of linking up with the the bit we did on the other side of the field. Filling this gap really nicely. So as we get closer up the field, you can see the little symbol in the top right corner is almost completely full now. We are literally just a minute or two away from finishing this job. So we'll get a nice little payout for this, and a nice little extra discount on the cost of this field. And then once we've done this, we have our own fields to fertilise. Once they're done, we can chip some more wood while we wait for the crops to finish growing. And then we can get on with harvesting our sunflowers with our brand new New Holland CR1090. We only have the 9-metre header at the moment. That's all we really need. We don't need anything too big at this stage. It keeps to the same width as the combine, so it makes for easy transport down the road. Oh, there we go, job finished. So 25,500 for the job, 8,300 as a time bonus as well. Fantastic. So we look at the field state now, down to 2.9, so we've knocked another 60,000 off the cost of the field. Let's see, is he going to offer us a plough job? He is. That's using the Salford. Come on, I just want to see, will the big beastie pop up there? This Gregoire Besson SPL SL9 doesn't look like it, and this is gonna look how long he's giving us to do the job. 434 minutes. I'm not going to be ploughing this field this time round. I might well do it later off camera when we're closer to being in a position to be able to afford to buy the field. But we're a long way off that yet. Yeah, he's not going to offer us the big bud equipment. That's a bit of a shame. Maybe Giants will update it with a patch and allow us to use some of that equipment on fields this big. I guess only time will tell. Right, back to the farm. We need to fertilise our fields, but at the moment we're still in the wrong stage of growth. So let's speed time up until they're ready, and I will see you in just a moment. Okay, so our sunflowers are starting to come through quite nicely. So let's get our spreader. Have we got enough in here? No, we don't. So we're going to have to put some more fertilizer in here. That's going to be expensive. But, you know, this is unfortunately one of the factors of farming, is the cost of the materials. It just so happens that this is expensive because A, we're playing on hard, and B, this unit holds an awful lot. Oh, it's so depressing seeing all that money just constantly rushing out of my account every time I need to fill something up. 45,000 this time because we did have a little bit of fertilizer left in the bottom of the unit, but yeah, that's still pretty pricey. But needs must, unfortunately. At some point we will definitely move on to animals. Try and get some slurry and some manure to help ease the cost of working these fields. Because I don't think one of these is going to be enough to fertilise the entirety of field 1 more than once. And I don't think one of these would be able to do field 4 just a single time. I think it would struggle. So yeah, that's definitely something that we have to be very wary of going forward. But the costs involved are staggering when you start getting up to you know, those field sizes. I wonder if the Seed Hawk would be able to actually seed, you know, field 4 on Mustang in a single go, or whether that would run out. I get the feeling that would probably run out. We might need 2 of those just to get, you know, a row of seed in, yeah, or to get a field of seed in. I guess time will tell. Right, I am going to disappear off into the distance. Finished fertilising these fields. I will catch you in just a moment. I just want you to watch this as the worker starts up. Just, you see the little panel pop up there and the pellets suddenly gain access. I've never noticed that animation before. Just been playing around with some of the different camera angles, and I noticed that window, and then as it got to the end, the this hatch just slammed down in front of it as the pellets stopped being spread, and I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, sometimes just running a worker for a moment and just exploring different camera angles, you find things about, you know, equipment that you've never noticed before. And that's exactly what happened to me just then. I thought you might like to see it. So just finishing off field 3 here. Got this thin little strip as always. And then after this we will move on and do field 5. And then that'll be it for this episode. So we're almost done now. So we're almost done with field 5 as well. Just got this final pass to do. There we go. And we're going to finish with a little bit of a flourish on this episode. So I've loaded up the wood chipper and got everything set up. It's stocked full of logs, and we're going to chip those and finish in a pile of wood chips. So I will catch you in just a second. So there we go. That's the end of the fertilisation. Nothing left to do now but put the equipment away and then head on over to the lumberyard. So our crops are fully fertilised, and once they're grown we will have a nice round of sunflowers to harvest. Hopefully we'll have, actually, you know, they're a lower value, higher yield crop than soybeans, so we might not even be able to fit both fields into our double trailers. We may have to do an unload part way through. That'll be interesting to see when we come to harvest these fields. But I digress. Let's get the equipment put away and then head on over to the sawmill. So here we are then at the sawmill to close the episode off. As you can see, we are absolutely stuffed full of logs. So let's get all of these churned through. And as you can see, we're building quite a nice little log pile here now. Sorry, sawdust pile. Wood chips even. We'll get there in the end. So yeah, this is where our wood chips are going to be stored until the price does something special. We probably won't actually sell these until we get a great demand, so that we can tip them all without fear of the price dropping. But there we go. That's the end of the episode. Thanks for watching, guys. I do hope you continue to watch the series and enjoy it as much as I'm enjoying recording it and playing on this farm. And don't forget, you can also check out my new Tomb Raider series, Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's an absolutely stunning game. I'm loving every second of that. So join me along for the ride on the adventure of that one there. And you can also check out my other farms as well. Fent Farm, Massey Manor, American Outback. And as always, I will catch you very soon.